So I thought I'd talk about another historical Christmas movie, so I decided to talk about Scrooge or Marley's Ghost from 1901, which is considered the first Christmas Carol movie. I just have to say, before I get into anything else, this is very impressive for 1901. To give you a bit of context, at this point in time, there really were not very many complicated movies. It'd be very, very simple. It would just be like someone walking around for the most part. Movies didn't really get much complicated until around like the 1910s and 1920s when plots started to get a lot more complicated. This is the first example of film becoming very complicated and having very big plot structure, because this is based on Charles Dickens' A Christmas Carol, and it's very, very faithful. Now, when reviewing older movies, especially movies that were released over 100 years ago, like this one, it's very easy to just go, well, that doesn't look good now. But when reviewing older movies, it's very good to put yourself in the shoes of someone who saw this when it came out. So, if someone in 1901 saw this, their mind would have been blown, because there was nothing like this at the time. Movies at this point, like I said, were very simple and minimalistic. It was most of the time just someone walking around. They didn't try and do anything grand. So for 1901, sure, it might look pretty outdated now, but it's still pretty amazing the way that they did it. I'm not even sure how they did some of the things they did in this movie, because they obviously would have had to discover how to do this, which would have been hard in of itself, because these people were pioneers in this, so they probably had no expertise in how to do it. They're just like making it up as it goes along, which is pretty interesting if you think about it. Now, something to mention about this movie, if you consider watching it, is that it's kind of a lost movie. And what I mean by that is that it's sort of kind of impossible to watch this in its full length. I originally watched this for like 3 minutes, and then it ended. I thought that was the whole movie, because, well, back then, movies were pretty short. Then I discovered there was a 9-minute version, and the 9-minute version was not really the whole movie either. So, yeah, and I don't really know where the full movie is, if there is a full movie, or if this is just all we have. But in conclusion, I'm going to give this movie a A+.